So in this section, we will be discussing about the different types of adhesives, how they are prepared, and finally we'll be landing up with the various applications of the adhesives. Let's begin with. So we'll be talking about the different contents in this section, including the animal glue, cellulose adhesives, the starch-based adhesives, the protein adhesives, also covering the natural rubber-based adhesives, synthetic resin adhesives, and the silicate adhesives. So let's begin with the animal glue. Now, until 1940, natural materials, including animal glues, were the only adhesive materials which are available. So they were used for paper manufacturing, for different woodworking processes, textile dyeing, abrasives, bookbinding, and so on and so forth. They have been accepted as adhesives due to their unique ability to deposit a viscous tacky film from the hot aqueous solution which is obtained, which forms a gel while the cooking process is going on of that adhesive or the substance, and provides initial strong bond. Subsequent drying of the adhesive provides final bond of high strength and resiliency. Now, the animal glue is basically derived by the hydrolysis of a protein constituent which is called as collagen. And this collagen is obtained from the animal hides and also from the bones. Now, the collagen molecule contains both the non-polar and the charged or the polar, acidic and basic side chains. This is the composition, or let's say the structure of the collagen molecule. Wherein, now the soluble protein of animal glue is the gelatin, and the collagen is converted to this gelatin through the process of breaking of inter and intramolecular polypeptide bonds through the use of acid or alkali and heat. Now, we apply the heat in the presence of acid or alkali depending upon the constituent or the raw material or the initial material taken, and the process converts the collagen into gelatin. Now, during this process, the melting of trihelical network to the amorphous form occurs, followed by the hydrolysis of various types of bonds, and that to the sequential hydrolysis. So basically what is happening over here, we are converting that collagen to the gelatin, which is the animal glue. We are converting the protein constituent, which is the collagen, through the process of hydrolysis, and also by using heat and acid or alkali, which helps in hydrolysis basically. And during this process, the inter and intramolecular polypeptide bonds are broken up, they are formed, and the melting of trihelical network takes place, and it gets converted, the morphology gets converted to the amorphous state. Now, the glues and gelatins are basically described as hydrolyzed collagen, and the formula which is used is C102H149O38N31. When it is hydrolyzed, so water molecules get attached and we get C102H151 O39 and N31. This is the process of conversion of collagen into gelatin. And the chemical composition of the gelatin which is formed, the animal glue which is formed, actually it consists of carbon, which is approximately 50.3%, hydrogen approximately 6.2%, oxygen 25.6%, and nitrogen, which is 17.8%. So basically the glue, animal glue which we are using, consists of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Remember, these are the major constituents of the glue. Why? Because it is an animal glue which is basically obtained from the animal protein. And you know, proteins are made up of amino acids. So carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen are the major components. That's an easy way to remember it. Now, the animal glues are composed of alpha amino acids which are joined by the polypeptide linkage. You can see the peptide bond, which is the CONH bond being formed in the structure given below. So these are the alpha amino acids joined by the polypeptide linkages to form a long chain polymer which continues. And as you can also see over here, it consists of a carboxyl group and a NH2 group. Now, the glue molecules consist of single chains terminated at one end by the amino group, which is on the left in this structure, and at the other end by the carboxylic group. Now, these are the two reactive groups, the amino group and the carboxylic group, and are ionizable in nature. So, the molecules may also have side chains and contain cyclic structures. Now, there are different amino acids. Basically, there are 18 amino acids present in the collagen and animal glue or the gelatin. And these 18 different amino acids are present in various, varying amounts in the glue. The electrically charged sites, which are the NH2 and the COH groups, as already mentioned, they affect the interaction among the protein molecules. Why? Because they are the reactive groups and are ionizable. So they affect the interaction among the protein molecules and between the different protein molecules and water. Now, due to these groups, the animal glues are amphoteric in nature. So in strongly acidic solution, the protein is positively charged and acts as a cation, whereas in the strongly alkaline solution, it is negatively charged and acts as an anion. This is an interesting feature about this animal protein. So what do we get from here? Basically, the composition of gelatin, which is the animal glue: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Carbon 50.3% approximately, and nitrogen 17.8% approximately. Second information that we get from here is it consists of the alpha amino acids, which are joined together with the help of peptide bond, and CONH here, it is representing the peptide bond, polypeptide bond basically. And the long chain polymers are formed in this way, and the distinct feature of these chains is it consists of NH2 group and carboxylic group on the extreme ends, which are the reactive groups and are ionizable in nature and also responsible for binding with other protein molecules, with water molecules, and amongst the protein molecules. That means both intra and intermolecular bonding takes place with the help of these groups. Now, due to these groups, the nature of this molecule is amphoteric in nature. Now, there are two main types of animal glue. One is the hide glue, obtained from the hide of the animal, the skin of the animal, and the other is the bone glue. Basically, both of these are obtained by the hydrolysis of collagen in the hide and of the connective tissue, which is the bone we are talking about, and they follow the main process is the hydrolysis. However, a little difference in their processing steps is there. Now let's talk about the manufacturing or the preparation of the animal glue. Basically, this process consists of four major steps. Number one is procuring of the raw material. Whether I want to prepare the animal glue using the hide or the bone. So I need bovine hides and bones, and procuring the skin and the bones. Also, sometimes we use fish skin, fish scales, or the poultry skin and other marine sources. So the first step is procurement of the raw material. The second step is the pre-treatment of the procured raw materials, removal of the fat, demineralization, swelling of the collagenous matrices. All these are part of pre-treatment process. The third step actually involves hot water extraction, wherein the batch process is followed, continuous process is followed, and or rather semi-continuous process is followed. So the last step is the recovery of the glue through filtration, through centrifugation, through desalinization, through sterilization, and then finally drying and getting the gelatin, which is the animal glue. So these are the four major milestones in the manufacturing or the preparation of the animal glue. Let's study the steps in detail and how the process moves on. So we'll discuss the manufacturing using the hide over here. So the raw materials for the hide glue are taken, and they are salted, they are lined, or lined or pickled hide trimmings are there. So we basically take the splits or the trimmings of the hides, and then we wash it with water. So when we wash it with water, after that we soak the entire stalk of splits or trim of hide, the pieces of hide. We soak in lime, that is calcium hydroxide, and water for a few weeks. Now, when we follow this soaking in lime and water for a few weeks, basically what happens, the irrelevant or the extraneous protein related materials which are present on the hide surface, they get removed. So it's basically to wash off those extraneous protein related materials which might be there present in the hide. And after a few weeks, we take it out and the hydrolysis is undergone, wherein the collagen which is there, it is conditioned, washed with water, and then the treatment or the pre-treatment with the acidification we say, or the acidulation is done using dilute HCl or dilute sulfurous acid, just for the sake of pH adjustment. And finally, after this acidic treatment, we rinse it with the water, and then successive dilute glue solutions are removed from the stock with as the process is going on, with at least 2 to 9% solids or the glue in them. Now these stocks are then filtered. They are concentrated using the vacuum evaporation. That means you evaporate the entire content in the presence of vacuum, wherein we get the concentration elevated by 20 to 50% concentration. Okay, and then finally the drying process is done. So basically what is happening over here, we are taking the raw material, small splits or the trims of the hide, and then we are undergoing some pre-treatment process over here using water and lime, soaking for a few weeks, so that the extra or the irrelevant or the extraneous protein related materials, they get removed up and we get it clean, we get the hide cleaned up. Hydrolysis is done, and after hydrolysis the collagen that we obtain, it is conditioned, washed with water, and then acidulation is done, or alkaline treatment if required is done. And then while during the process we take out small solutions from the stock. Those solutions basically of the glue, they contain they're very dilute solutions. They contain approximately 2 to 9% of the glue. So we concentrate those solutions to make the concentration up to 20 to 50% of the glue, and then we finally dry and get the animal glue. Manufacturing of the bone glue is concerned, we have two types of bone glue. One is called as a green bone glue, which is prepared from the fresh or the green bones from the meat packaging industries, wherein the bones are crushed and then washed and then acidulated with using dilute acid, and then finally the extraction process continues. And it can also be an extracted bone glue, wherein the conditioned bones are hydrolyzed in the pressure tanks, applying the hot water and the steam, and followed by the filtration process and then centrifugation also of that substance to remove all the grease and the suspended particles. Finally, the dilute solutions which are taken out from the stock, they are concentrated to a high concentration using the vacuum evaporation process, which is then dried and then grinded into fine powder substances. So that is the process of obtaining or making the bone glue. Now, let me mention one thing over here, that the commercially available animal glues are solid in granular or pulverized form and are dry, hard and odorless, but they vary in color from light amber to, let's say, a dark brown color, and they can be stored indefinitely in the dry form, because naturally, the commercially available dried form contains 8 to 15% moisture content, and they have a pH of 5.5 to 8.0. Now the global animal glue market is huge, enormous. This is a share by application of 2023, wherein 33.2% of this animal glue has been used in adhesives. So the total market size is $285.6 million, and 55% of it, the animal glue, is used in book binding process. 20% is used for miscellaneous things, miscellaneous applications, including the woodworking, the gummed tape, etc., etc. 15% of this animal glue is used in coated abrasives, and it's only the 5% of this animal glue is used in paper industries for crimping and converting, and another 5% in the metal refining process. So in short, a huge market of this animal glue is utilized, approximately 55% is utilized in the book binding process. And yes, of course, it is used in furniture also, footwear, painting, coating, and the list continues.